Good evening. I am Dr. David Brown, principal of Metro High School, and I was going to have a script prepared, which I do, but there was something that happened today, and I want to take a moment of time, and I apologize to go off script, but I just wanted to say that today we just found out that President Nelson Mandela passed away, so this is bittersweet for me, because during the time in college, I did a lot of time working with great people to make this country great, and Nelson Mandela deserves our moment of silence, if you don't mind. So can everyone just take a bow for a second and take a moment of silence? Thank you. I wanted to welcome all the families, friends, and administrators to our first graduation in this beautiful facility at the Educational Leadership and Service Center. And I wanted to say that if you have your cell phones, can you please turn them off so that way we can enjoy the ceremony? Thank you. I would like to recognize first the compassionate and creative and most metroistic staff that we have. And if they can stand up, please, and give them an applause, Metro. Thank you. We also have in our presence our superintendent, Dr. David Benson. Please stand. One of our board of directors, Mr. John Laverty, please stand. Cindy Donaldson, special support. Thank you for attending. As many of you may not know, Metro actually does have a meaning. And Metro, to a lot of people, means meeting or mastering. I like to say mastering because meeting is just being adequate, but mastering educational tasks regardless of obstacles. Our students are faced with obstacles every day. What we do at Metro is try to have a place for them to go where we can remove those obstacles and they can work on their educational, behavioral, social goals. We do the best we can to provide our students with that kind of access and opportunity. Our mission is to expose them to positive life choices. I hope our graduates can take a special time as they sit in their seats and think about the struggles that they had when they first arrived to the moment that they are right now, as thinking of what's next, what's around the corner, what will happen. Your time at Metro was full of people who cared, the supporting staff of our teacher advisors who work with you through all of your struggles. Sometimes people in the community have told some of these students, well, now you have to go to Metro. And some students may have taken offense to that. But for a vast majority of you, I guarantee that most of you have said, no, I got a chance to go to Metro, and this was a great place to be. You guys will find out that in life, you will come against some challenges, but you will overcome. The same kind of pride that you took in order to get you through the graduation here tonight is the same kind of pride and courage you should do in the rest of your life. Graduates, please understand that the bond you have made at Metro is a lifelong process, and you have a connection with our teachers and our building. You are a part of our community. Please find peace in knowing that you have friends that really do care about you. Be proud that you did not squander your education and you took advantage of it. As I said before, you're like the phoenix. Out of the ashes came anew. Now take your life ahead and make the best out of it. Without further ado, I would like to start off with the ceremony's first person, which will start off with our GED recipients and then go to our diploma recipients. Will Stormy Dutton please come to the stage?
My name is Molly Sofranco, and I am was Stormy's art teacher and advisor. Stormy was one of my first advisees. Both of us began our time at Metro somewhat nervously. Neither of us knew what to expect. We helped each other navigate through this new school together. She helped me balance as I stumbled through the new and often stressful world of being an advisor. She would run into my room every morning with a smile and a cheery hello, every morning. We would even come to school wearing identical outfits. And I have a picture. Okay. That's how close we were. Her family welcomed me into their home for my first solo home visit, and Stormy became my first Metro daughter, so to speak. Stormy is someone who cares deeply about the people she loves, and she shows it. She has an amazing relationship with her family. She takes care of them through the good and the bad, and in turn, they show endless patience and love by taking care of her through her rough patches. I helped Stormy through some dramatic social events with friends and boyfriends, and in the end, this probably had the greatest impact on her decision to leave Metro and opt for her GED, which I totally understand. Metro can turn into a really small school for some folks really fast. Social drama aside, I never questioned Stormy's potential and her ability to work hard. Before she left Metro, she attended school full-time, worked a second shift factory job, and lived in Palo, which shows that she can do anything she puts her mind to. It's been a while since I've seen Stormy because she finished her GED at the end of last spring. So when I spoke to her the other night, we talked about what life has been like during the last few months. And it turns out that to someone with a large and sensitive heart, the world can be a crazy and painful place. To sum it up, and to quote Stormy, she has been dealing with a boatload of adultness. So, Stormy, though life will not always live up to your expectations, and there may always be some drama, there will also be times of contentment and triumph. And though you may have to work to get there, you have a wonderful family who loves and supports you, and I wish you a boatload of success. Okay. Oh, I just dropped it all. Who's next? Let's see. Is it Matt Johnson? Matt Johnson. Stormy.
Good evening. I'm Ann Hoffman, and Matt Seckel and I are joined on stage by Matt Johnson. When Matt started at Metro about a year and a half ago, he joined my all-female advisee group. Despite being outnumbered by some interesting and occasionally outspoken women, he held his own and seemed to take it all in stride. In fact, Matt seemed to take most things in stride. He was a smart, laid-back student who seemed really interested in skateboarding and sometimes interested in what was going on in his classes. He usually answered my questions about how things were going with a shrug and a smile. I remember one time he had started missing a couple of his afternoon classes for a couple of days in a row. When I asked him about this not-so-great attendance pattern, he answered my questions with a quick shrug and then explained, well, I fell off my skateboard the other day and cracked my tailbone. It starts to hurt after a few hours of sitting on those hard chairs, so I took off a little early. And then he smiled. It is that shrug and nonchalant attitude that I picture when I think of Matt. After several terms away from Metro, Matt returned and began his GED pretesting. He passed his pretest quickly, and when he returned with his final results, we were not surprised to see that his scores were excellent. Matt, please know how impressed we are with your success on your GED. You have talked about continuing your education at Kirkwood, and I know that you have the intelligence and the dedication to do very well in college. I know that you have some uncertainty in your life right now, but that you still have the ability and the maturity to make the best possible choices for your future. The initiative that you took this fall to complete your final GED testing quickly and with such excellent scores shows the commitment that you are capable of making to yourself and to your success. Congratulations and best wishes. Next, Lauren Pape.
I'm joined on stage with Justin Hoyt, social studies teacher, and Lauren Pape, GED recipient. Lauren, when you showed up to begin work at Metro Plus, I have to say I was quite surprised. My surprise was twofold. First, I hadn't seen you since earlier last school year, so it was refreshing to see you back in school. Second, I was a little shocked that you were going the route of earning your GED as opposed to your high school diploma. It turns out you were too. This came out shortly after we started our work that first night when I asked you to take a test for me. The conversation went a little like this. You, a test? I have to take a test? Me, yeah. You, why do I have to take a test? Me, silent, trying to figure out how to respond. The GED is a batch of tests. It turned out there was perhaps a wee bit of miscommunication or misunderstanding of information shared in the meeting where it was determined that GED would be your best option for completing high school. And after a short conversation with you regarding your circumstances, it became clear to me why attending school took the back seat and why the GED was indeed the route to go. After only 4 nights with us at Metro Plus, you were on your way to complete your final tests, and your final test scores blew us out of the water. Lauren, you are an incredibly intelligent, capable, kind, and caring young woman. Truly, while I enjoyed your presence at Metro Plus and on the days that I had you in school, I believe the only thing we really provided and that you actually needed was a boost in confidence, because you absolutely had the skills. I am so proud of you, Lauren. Congratulations. That concludes the GED portion of our program. We'll now be recognizing our diploma recipients. Mariah Belts, please come to the stage.
I'm Heather Troke, and I am joined on stage with Bev Grinneman Adams and Mariah Belts. Congratulations, Mariah. Mary Ah. I couldn't let you get away without saying it at least one more time. For those of you that don't know, Mariah spells her name M-A-R-Y-A-H. I would often tease her during class about her name being pronounced Mary Ah instead of Mariah. And so I found it fitting to start her graduation speech with our little joke. Mariah enrolled at Metro in September of 2009. Although she was originally Bev's advisee, I always had her in class, and she quickly became one of my favorites. She always participated and added great drama to our discussions. Congratulations, Mariah. You are a high school graduate. I wasn't always completely confident that you would make it to this stage, but I wasn't going to let you give up on yourself. You have achieved one of the goals that you have set for yourself. You should be proud of yourself, and I am so very proud of you. Be proud of what you have succeeded. I want you to continue to think about the things in life that are important to you. I want you to continue to look for future successes. I know you can do it. Don't give up on yourself. I want to end with this quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to learn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to know that even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Amy Olson.
So, feisty, full of animation, energy, or courage, spirited, spunky, plucky, ill-tempered, pugnacious, troublesome, and difficult. Those pretty much describe Amy. So when she began here, she was still finding herself, making choices and being stubborn. Very, very stubborn. As the time went on, she was still feisty, but we were able to see more of those strengths develop in the Parent-Child Center, in other classes, and in daily interactions. She became more concerned with her classes and earning credits. We were no longer having to encourage her as much to not only go to class, but to also stay in class. Those of us who had the opportunity to get to know Amy know that making the right choices was sometimes not the easiest, but we saw the changes she made when she began putting graduation and meeting her goals as a top priority. Amy has a huge heart, is never afraid to speak her mind, and is persistent. Congratulations, Amy, and thank you for being feisty. Like Dylan Sidwell, come to the stage. I'm joined on the stage with Dylan and then LA teacher Erin Payne Christensen. Metro staff may not recognize this young man because anytime we saw him, his head was down because he was reading, not checking his phone, but reading all of the time. Nothing really wrong with that, but I know some teachers probably didn't see his face too often. In trying to come up with words, stories to best describe Dylan, I did struggle because he's just a solid student. Solid, no drama, no stress, just he came in, did what he needed to do, and didn't come for me for anything. I had to go find him. Like, Dylan, is there something I can help you with? Do you need anything? Nope, I'm just gonna finish my credits and be done. Whatever was taking place, Dylan just seemed to go along with the flow. His focus has been to make a good life for his daughter, Willow, who I met for the first time tonight and is absolutely adorable. To do that, he knew he needed to complete high school, which he has done. As Dylan moves forward, I hope that he continues to approach life as he has school with a determined yet calm demeanor. Congratulations. It is you, McKenna Crumbaugh. Are you ready?
No, I can't do this. I can't look at you.
Okay. So I'll talk like this. McKenna can talk. Snapchat lets users send photos that only last for moments. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou. None of us will ever forget how McKenna makes us feel. Her genuine smile, belief and passion for the underdog, and an unmatched acceptance of others. I'm not chatting because I wanted to be creative. Her advisor, Mary, McKenna by far melted me on a daily basis with her genuine smile and her appeal to stand up for what was truly right and honorable. She openly expressed her thoughts and ideas and challenged the negative thoughts of others in such a gentle way that in the end, McKenna not only had them think about their choices, but had earned their respect. I knew McKenna was someone special long before she was a student in my classroom. But when she joined class and shared that Jane Goodall was her idol, I realized how special she was. What teenager idolizes Jane Goodall? McKenna's leadership on the volleyball court was impressive, but her response to an ace or scoring a point provided opportunities to see what we all know. No, McKenna is an amazing young lady. She makes a difference in the lives of all those she knows. Thank you to her family for sharing her with us. Congratulations. Erin Ray.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Gorlushin. I'm Erin's advisor. I'm joined on stage tonight by Stacy Mangridge, and the two of us would like to recognize the graduate, Erin Ray. Through my time at Metro, I've come to realize and see that Erin is a very intelligent and self-reflective young man. However, I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you from time to time he was a source of stress, not only to me, but I know to his mother, as we crossed our fingers that he was going to graduate. I often went home a little worried that he wasn't going to get it done. But once I realized that I just needed to get out of his way and let him graduate on his terms, he took control of his educational plan, decided he was ready to move on, and finish this fall. Erin, your future is entirely up to you. I hope that the decisions you make from this day forward lead you down a path that one day you can look back on and be proud of. I hope you begin to really think about what your next steps will be, starting when you leave here tonight, and what you want to accomplish in your life. I know you've already taken the steps needed to start college in January. I also know your current plan is to major in marketing or business, and someday hopefully get into the music business. I truly hope you realize the great potential you have to accomplish anything you set your mind to. I've seen it firsthand as you finished high school, and I know you can carry that over to your future education. Tonight is a great accomplishment for you, Erin, and I have the utmost faith that it won't be your last great accomplishment. Please know that your Metro family truly wants to see you succeed, and we will be here if you ever need our help. Erin, know you have an opportunity in front of you. Don't waste it, but embrace it. Congratulations. Haley McConnell.
Hi, I'm Stacy Mangridge, joined on stage with Melissa Wickham and our graduate, Haley McConnell. Haley actually wanted her advisor, Mary Cruz, to speak tonight, but Mary could not be here, so I'm going to read the speech that Mary wrote about Haley. First and foremost, congratulations to my little Haley, to her mom, to her sissy, and to all of her fabulous family members that support her. The road from point A to point B was not the smoothest for Haley. To say there were potholes would be an understatement. Haley's road was constantly under construction. Some detours Haley had no control over. Others, she just chose to take the more scenic route. No matter the detour, Haley did eventually find the road leading to Metro, and we are blessed that she did. We shared many tears and laughter together. Tonight, the focus is on laughter, as I firmly believe sooner or later, most things cried about can eventually be laughed about. So, keeping with the theme, listed are the signs Haley saw on her path to graduation. Here are the top 10 signs. Sign number 10, cheerleading tryouts. Once a cheerleader, always a cheerleader. Haley is the biggest cheerleader for her family and friends. Sign number 9, help wanted. Haley is a worker. She loved having her own money. Actually, she loved having her mom's money first and then her money. Sign number 8, used cars for sale. I lost count of the number of cars Haley went through. Sign number 7, princess parking only. Need I say more? Sign number 6, wrong way. Haley was one to push the limits, causing her to get lost at times. Sign number 5, right turn only. Sometimes this meant she traveled in circles, making us both dizzy. Other times, she was right on. Sign number 4, U-turn. Haley had many chances for a redo. She took full advantage of this opportunity and formed many great relationships that will last a lifetime. Sign number 3, road closed. Haley was faced with this sign often, but she never gave up. Eventually, the road opened. Sign number 2, one way only. Haley's most frustrating sign, as she prefers to do things her way. And lastly, sign number 1, watch out for bears. You are surrounded by Metro Mama Bears. We will always be there for you. Do not hesitate to ask for help. And yes, you will get bear hugs. Congratulations, Haley with no eye. Hayden Ayers.
Hi, I'm Christy Dykes. I'm Hayden's teacher. And Hayden has been a joy. He's been hard-headed, and there are times that he has kind of pushed us, and we've pushed back and said, hey, you're close to graduating. Let's get this done. He's worked hard on everything. His teachers would sit there and tell him, you know, if you focus on this, we'll get there. Then he's got to tell us a story. Here or there, he's got to add to the discussion. And we're really, really proud of you. This week, starting the new trimester, walking across the cafeteria at breakfast time, I noticed something missing. I didn't hear a voice. I kind of looked, and there was no Hayden. It's kind of sad. But then I was also happy, because Hayden, you've made it. And we're really, really proud of you. Congratulations. Shy Collins.
You know Shy and you know me, you would have thought he picked up my clothes tonight. I did this on my own. I was going to wear Chucks, but no time for Target. Okay, I kept all the emotion out of it, but Shy, you began Metro as a wee little freshman in September of 2011, at which time you became my advisee. Your original plan, and one you were adamant about, was to eventually return to one of the conventional high schools. You expressed time and again that you wanted to graduate on time with your class. While the last several years have not been the smoothest, and though you were not able to return to a conventional high school, one thing remained constant, and that is your determination. Shy, through the many obstacles you've faced, you never once gave up. And neither did your mother. God bless her. A couple of years ago, you were asked to set a goal for yourself. The goal you established was to finish high school on time. You came up with 3 steps that would help you accomplish that goal. 1, come to school every day. 2, do what I'm supposed to do. 3, don't mess up in school. And you did that. Side note, each of those is important and applies to life. Hefty little note there. Do you know what being on the stage tonight means, Shy? You not only accomplished your goal, you exceeded it. Tonight, as you stand on the stage, you're completing high school 2 terms before your graduating class. How about those apples? Shy, you're a hard worker when you choose to be. You have an incredibly big heart, and you pride yourself on being there for friends and family. You have the potential to do great things in your lifetime, but you must choose to push yourself in the right direction. As you move on from high school, surround yourself with positive people who are doing something with their lives and have your best interests in mind. Also, keep in mind the power of setting goals. Goal setting is what got you here tonight, and no doubt is your best bet for being successful down the road. Congratulations, Shy. I'm kind of bittersweet night. I'm proud of you. Yeah, buddy. Jordan Doolin. That was Tim Wright. Sorry, I forgot to introduce you, Tim. I'm joined on stage by Bev Grindeman Adams, who I almost said graduated. She did. Retired several years ago, but who Jordan chose to be her shaker tonight. And we were in a class together, Bev's last year, all three of us. I'll be honest, Jordan, at the beginning of this term, this is the very last place I thought we'd be tonight. After all, when the school year began, you were nowhere to be found. After years as your advisor, I knew worrying about you was futile because you, Jordan, would return when the time was right for you. Lo and behold, several weeks later, there you were, busting in my door. Mama Sarah, I'm ready for a schedule. Several weeks ago, I believe it was a Thursday, we sat at a table in the Learning Center with Stacy to talk about your plan for the end of this term. The question at hand, did you want to graduate this term? If you answered yes, you still had some schoolwork to push through to make it happen. If you answered no, you'd have an easy second term with a shortened class schedule and would have one more season on court with the Metro basketball team. And let's be honest, you wanted one last season on the court. And I kind of thought you were trying to throw it for yourself. The ball was, as it were, completely in your hands. You could work hard for it and get done this term, or you could sit back and take another term to finish. This was your game. Sure, I could have pleaded and begged you to just do it and get it done, but after 4 years as your advisor, I know you too well. You're stubborn, Jordan. No amount of my advice is going to convince you to change your plan. You planted yourself firmly, and against our good advice, you assured us it was best if you waited to graduate at the end of second term. So when I received your text on Saturday, only 2 days after we sat down to talk, I wasn't quite sure how to respond. Your text read, and I quote, "I changed my mind. I want to be done this term." I was stunned, to say the least, and I wasn't quite sure how to respond, except to say that we'd have to check and make sure it was still possible. And to tell you the truth, selfishly, I was afraid to let you go. Here we are. You did it, buddy, and I couldn't be more proud of you than I am tonight. Congrats. Caitlin Forbes Wilson.
Congratulations, Caitlin. Caitlin enrolled at Metro in September of 2011. She started off as Bev's advisee, and I didn't have her in class, so I unfortunately didn't get to meet Caitlin until last fall when she was transferred to my advisee list after Bev retired. Caitlin is so bright, but school often would make her nervous, and so her attendance was usually only so-so. Caitlin was often very quiet in her classes and kept to herself. She certainly wasn't the social butterfly that one might think of when picturing a teenage girl. but she is truly an inspiration and a perfect role model to her peers. As I was preparing to write her speech, I asked a few of her teachers what they remember the most about Caitlin. I quickly discovered a theme. Caitlin has a wonderful smile. I would definitely have to agree, and so therefore my advice to you is this: keep smiling. Here are 5 reasons why you should keep smiling. Smiling makes us more attractive. Smiling is infectious. Smiling reduces stress. A smile can brighten another person's day. Smiling brings us closer to our friends and family. So, Caitlin, although I want you to remember to continue to smile, more importantly, I also want you to remember that you are someone's reason to smile. Congratulations. Seth Barnard.
Hi, I'm Molly again, and I'm joined on stage with Gary and Seth Barnard. Okay. We have a theme going because the title of my speech is Quietly Smiling and Working His Way Through High School. So, thank you, Heather. Last year, when Seth decided to take graduation seriously and stop taking art classes, I was really bummed out. I had Seth every trimester for the first year and a half or so of my work at Metro, and the art room was not going to be the same without his daily presence. However, when Seth came to me and asked me to speak for his graduations, I was flattered, but honestly a little stumped. Let me tell you a little bit about Seth. He's a super nice guy. He is a super nice guy who sometimes in my class barely said anything. What do you say about someone so quiet? Maybe he was different in language arts or math, but in a room where Seth was allowed to zone out and do his own thing, he spent most of his time quietly smiling and working his way through his art classes. So if he hardly talked, how do I know he's a super nice guy? The answer is that I've never seen him without a smile on his face. I would see him in the hallway walking with his friends or walking alone, and always with that smile. And I took this part out of the speech because I thought I would crack up, but sometimes I would imagine you with a little thought bubble of unicorns playing electric guitars, like, and that's what was making you smile so much? I don't know. Okay. The guy never seems to get depressed. I've also never heard him say a negative thing about anyone. For those of you that aren't around teenagers all day, both of those last 2 traits are very uncharacteristic of someone under 20. I'm not saying that Seth was mute during my classes. I heard him talk a lot about music. Not that I understood a word that he said, because all the bands that he referred to made me feel really old and out of touch. Though he obviously has strong passion and opinions about music, which I can relate to, I never heard him put anyone else's musical taste down, which I totally admire. Oh, I lost my spot. All I'm saying is that besides the occasional burst of good-natured conversation about pop culture references that were totally beyond me, Seth was a guy who would listen, smile, and work, laugh at people's jokes, even my jokes, which aren't that funny, and he's just a totally nice guy. Of course, there's more to Seth than just being nice. He was a student who was there every day, ready to work, and never complained. His plans are to go to Kirkwood, where hopefully he'll take some more art classes, and where I'm sure he'll be successful. I know Seth through his artwork. Sometimes the work was very bright and lighthearted. He entered a piece into the Murals and More competition that was a digital collage of magenta and electric blue buildings that completely blew the judges away and stole the show. One of my favorite pieces that he made in ceramics class was a tragically cute representation of the sinking of the Titanic. Seth's art also had a darker, more cerebral side, like the devil mask he made in plaster, or the meticulously glazed ghost-like face that he made in clay, which mysteriously disappeared from the art room before it was finished. I think it is appropriate that those 2 somewhat scary and serious pieces were masks. Most of us has more than one side to us, the good and the bad, the dark and the light. And to me, it seems that Seth is able to creatively channel his feelings through his art and his appreciation for music. So instead of a mask, all Seth needs to wear is that amazingly honest and real smile. I know that I'm going to miss that smile, Seth. Congratulations. Next, Jimmy Macklin.
Good evening. My name is Gary Miller, and I am joined on stage by Chris Kilberg, and we are here to honor Jimmy Macklin. This is my 25th Metro graduation and my first ever Metro speech. It's important to note the only reason I'm speaking tonight is I must honor the fact that I lost to Jimmy in a game of chess. Jimmy is a special kind of student that prides himself on accomplishing goals. Jimmy sees himself as the best at anything he takes on and is willing to work harder than everyone around him to achieve his goals, regardless of the mental or physical challenges. The attitude clearly embodies his alter ego, or his passion depending on how you know Jimmy, Superman. Jimmy asked me to thank the Metro staff for their encouragement, motivation, and rigor that allowed him to be a big fish in a small pond. Jimmy took advantage of the National Parks trip last summer that allowed him to travel 2,500 miles in 2 weeks. Jimmy also was a leader in the chess class last year that taught and mentored a group of students at Taylor Elementary School. In a few weeks, Jimmy will leave for Camp Pendleton to become one of the few, the proud, a Marine. There, he will pursue a career in the field of logistics, which ensures the right people have the right tools at the right time. As you take your diploma tonight, I want you to recognize that the grand chess game of life has just started. I'm a little young to speak with the wisdom of life, but I have found many parallels to the game of chess. Tonight finalizes your opening. You have castled kingside and are ready to attack. Create a name for yourself as a leader and an innovator. I'm very proud of you tonight, Jimmy. Success will be inevitable provided you maintain both your incredible work ethic and your determination to be the best. My lasting words for you are a quote from Winston Churchill. Success is the ability to go from one failure to another with no loss of enthusiasm. I know you understand this quote more than most because it's the reason we're both up here tonight. Congratulations and good luck. Austin Foster.
Good evening. My name is Melinda Wilcox, and I'm joined up here by Erin, a language arts teacher, and our awesome graduate, Austin. First of all, Austin started at Metro about 2 years ago. Since I was lucky enough to be his advisor and classroom teacher for these 2 years, I observed several things about Austin. He's very dependable, he's quiet, he has a great sense of humor, he's very loyal to his family and his friends, he has a very strong work ethic. He's always had a job. He follows through with whatever he says he's going to do. He sets a goal and he works hard to meet it. He helps others at work and at school and at home. He enjoys sports and cars. Metro gave Austin a chance to find out more about himself, his strengths, and his weaknesses. We learned that Austin is a lot like the cars that he likes so much. He loves cars. He likes to look good, too. He has great outfits, great hats, awesome jewelry, and great tats. Okay? And like a car, he gets the job done. Now, while Austin might have polished off his skills here at Metro, he also gave something to our building, which is what we encourage kids to do. He gave service to our building, he gave leadership, he showed others what a strong work ethic looks like, and he was a positive role model to others. it was definitely what I would call a two-way street. So now, Austin, before you drive off into the future, I have some advice for you. My advice is life is like a car ride. First of all, there may be stops along the way. Hang in there. You will learn something from everything you do. Number 2, you will need to perform some maintenance. Instead of changing the oil, filling up with gas, and rotating the tires, you will be going to work or school, you'll be paying your bills, and you need to keep yourself healthy. Number 3, you may have passengers along the way. You will have family and friends that need your support. Number 4, sometimes it will seem like you're going faster than the speed limit, but sometimes it might be better to slow down and enjoy the ride. And finally, number 5, you are the one in the driver's seat. It is your life. You make the choices of where you choose to go. Austin, whatever your destination is, I am sure you will be successful, drive safely. I am very proud of you. Congratulations. Okay.
As I always said in the past, and I will say always, you have never seen a graduation like Metro. Graduates, this is the time where we talked about. I'm going to ask you to stand. Graduates, please turn your tassels to the left. Congratulations. If I were you, I would soak it in because life is now about to happen. And as everyone in this room knows, you can do it because you did this. You graduated. For everyone else in the room, I want to thank you for coming to our ceremony. I want to invite everyone for our refreshments at the far end. And thank you, and good night.